Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
We having fun yet? Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
All the things that are going on.
Fun.
Yeah, that one person summed it up really nicely from her car. Fun! Miss her.
Do you?
I miss her a lot. Yeah, she was great.
Aww.
She was great. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter if you'd like to get involved in the show today. Apparently, Coke is a little bit less woke now.
Huh.
I think they learned kind of an important lesson. Earlier this year, they were front and center and kind of the poster child for how a corporation could shove leftist ideology down your throat. The company suspended advertising on Facebook in a push to censor former President Donald Trump, published a manifesto about racial equity, and demanded all legal teams working for Coke must meet certain diversity quotas. Not to mention, sounded off on the Georgia law that the CEO of the company helped write. And then after that, after they realized the left doesn't, they don't like this? Wow, that's a terrible law. What a racist law that was.
They were also the folks that trained their employees to be less white.
Yeah. Yes, they were. Yes. So then, they got a little pushback from right-minded people. President Trump, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, a bunch of other conservative voices called for a boycott of the company's products. And now Coke seems to be shifting gears ever so slightly. They're not quite as woke as they were just a few weeks ago.
Oh.
It is amazing how that makes a difference, though. We don't like doing it. The right doesn't, as a rule, engage in boycotts. But wow, look at that. The threat from a few prominent Republicans kind of stopped them in their tracks.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm still not going to buy Coke products.
Still not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
Yeah. It kind of feels like if they continue to struggle, they're going to just blame commodities. You know how like Obama would blame Bush for 8 years?
Yeah.
They're going to always go to the commodities or expensive card as opposed to nobody's buying our crap anymore.
The easy way out.
Mm-hmm.
We believe, now here's their latest statement. We believe the best way to make progress now is for everyone to come together and listen respectfully, share concerns, and collaborate on a path forward.
Have a conversation.
Is that what you believe now? Yeah, we need to have a conversation.
Uh-huh.
We remained open and productive conversations with advocacy groups.
There it is.
And lawmakers who may have differing views. It's time to find common ground. In the end, we all want the same thing, free and fair elections, the cornerstone of our democracy, which we don't have. It's a democracy. Then last week, Coke's new general counsel, Monica Howard Douglas, their last general counsel left because of all the crap that was going on.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Told members of the company's global legal team that the diversity initiative announced by her predecessor is taking a pause for now.
Oh, is that right?
Isn't that great? So them trying to tell all the businesses they were going to deal with how to run their businesses and who they should hire. Now they're not going to so much.
They may want to
right
concentrate on their own business for a while.
Yeah.
But I think we've already had the conversation, right? They spoke. We replied. I think we're done here.
Yeah, I think we are. So this is what Glenn said. Why is Coke taking a pause on all these things? Because you have been standing up. And I mean, that is so true. We can make a difference. And it feels like, it feels a lot of times like we can't make a difference. There's nothing I can say that's going to change anything. Mm-hmm. What am I? I'm one person. I can't do anything. No, we made our voices heard on the right, and it affected them. Yeah. And they put the brakes on.
I mean, and it's one thing to boycott a beverage that you don't need in your life. It's another if it's something like sports. And I'll be the first to admit that, I'm not giving a dime to Major League Baseball. Am I still watching my team? Yes, I am. Okay? They're my team. The end. All right? But I'm not paying anything to Major League Baseball. Okay? Now, you figure out the mental gymnastics there. That's my hypocrisy, okay? All right? I'll own it, okay? I'm not paying anything to Major League Baseball. I am watching the Braves.
Huh.
Deal with it.
How does that work?
I don't know, but you can save your DMs.
Okay.
So, I mean, just they were treated poorly by Major League Baseball over a lie. And I'm not happy about that, but I'm not holding it against my Braves. Okay.
All right.
But I mean, you gotta find your own line. Everybody's got their line, and I'll be the first to say that on the surface, it sounds like that I'm a hypocrite on this, and I probably am. But my line is not paying a dime to Major League Baseball.
Okay.
And but and the Coke thing proves it's effective, right?
And I don't drink Coke anyway, so
right. That's why I'm saying it's easier.
Pretty easy boycott for me to adhere to. But I do, I have on occasion, I drink Sprite. I like Sprite. But I think I'm committed enough not to drink Sprite.
Isn't that the thing, though? There's some things that are easier to do than others. And
it might be almost impossible to boycott all 500 of Coke's companies. But you can make a real impact by boycotting their main brand. That's for sure. By not buying Coca-Cola. It's, been number one forever. Making them number two after Pepsi that would have a massive impact on that company.
It'd be so much easier for me if I just didn't like baseball.
Yeah, or football in some cases. Because they do this, and if you love basketball, that's got to be tough right now.
Yeah, I hate basketball. So let's boycott the NBA. I can handle that one.
Yeah, I could handle boycotting the NBA too because I'm not that into it. But
but I mean, it's
NFL
tough.
Football would be a tough one.
We're human beings, man. I mean, we all have our pressure points. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
What else you want to boycott while we're at
it? Solar panels.
Okay. Well, see, yes, let's boycott solar panels. I am on board with you on that one, sir.
Yeah. It of course is May the 4th be with you
Here
day.
We go. My gosh.
May the 4th be with you.
It feels like it comes around more than once a year.
I know.
Time flies.
So the Department of Energy put this out. We must use the Force. Learn what it takes to be a Jedi. A force for change, for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion in the solar industry during our May 4th webinar. Sign up here, and then there's the link.
May 4th webinar.
And then there, you can see there on the screen, may the solar force be with you always.
Wow, you can definitely tell that there's been a changing of the guard.
Yeah.
As far as the executive branch.
Yeah. When they're talking about babbling about social justice from the Department of Energy, change for justice.
Justice.
Equity. Diversity. And inclusion.
That's your Department of Energy.
Using all the buzzwords that mean you succumb to whatever left-wing ideology is going around right now.
If something like that really bothers me, like, what would Yoda say to something along those lines? Since it is May the 4th be with you day.
He'd say, May the 4th be with you.
No. But
yes?
that really makes me angry when I see something like that, Pat.
Oh.
It really does. Like, it
makes you angry?
Makes me angry when I see the Department of Energy being hijacked.
Does it make you fearful that bad things
could
happen?
Yes, fearful is a good one.
Because then Yoda might say,
it makes me hate stuff.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
All right. Well, I'm definitely suffering under the Biden regime.
Yes.
That's for sure. No. Wait, yes or no?
Yes.
Wait.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Yes.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Okay. See, we got there.
That's what he might say.
He might say it.
I don't know. I don't know for sure. But he's been dead for some time, I think. But so he might not say anything, about it.
Wow, that hurt.
I mean, he died a long time ago in a galaxy that's really far away.
Yeah.
So, he's gone.
It was tough getting to that funeral, too. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you had to take some real time off from work.
A lot of people loved Yoda, but getting out there...
It was difficult.
I mean, please, don't be turned off. I apologize.
All right, the totalitarian elites want to extend COVID-19 lockdowns forever for climate change, of course. David Attenborough, you know who he is? He narrates virtually every nature film that's ever been done. If David Attenborough's on it, you know that climate change is in it because he is Mr. freaking Climate Change.
Oh, boy.
In his upcoming documentary, The Year Earth Changed. That's not upcoming. That's already out. That's on Disney right now.
Oh.
Romanticizes the global lockdowns. Oh, it sure does. Oh, my God. I just watched it the other night. And, they talk about how great it was that human beings had to stay home and our economies had to be ruined worldwide. That was a wonderful thing. The air cleaned up. The fish could swim again. The animals could mate again. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
Oh, would you recommend it?
No. No. But he romanticized the global lockdowns in 2020 for proving how the natural world would do much better if we weren't here at all. Okay. All right, good. That's great. Except we are here. And, they're here for us. We're not here for them. Okay? So he's got things a little bit backward. But the thing that I did get from it is, hey, the earth self-repairs. How about that? Huh. Who would have seen that coming?
Wow.
Yeah, the earth is more resilient than you're giving it credit for, maybe? Because everything that he's so worried about in 2 days was completely better. I mean, in India, they have pollution so bad that they can't see the Himalayas that are, I think, 200 kilometers away. So what is that, 120 miles?
Oh, I thought it was 120 feet.
If anybody knew, if there was any way to tell. So they're about 120 miles away. And the pollution is so bad you can't see them. Well, when everybody stopped driving, stopped working, factories shut down, pollution went away in like a couple of days. And all of a sudden, there's the Himalayas.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how fast the Earth kind of adjusts and adapts and fixes things. And it does. I mean, it repaired the ozone layer. It fixed the hole in the ozone. It swallowed up that massive BP oil spill
that was
in the Gulf. Remember that?
That was something to behold, too.
I mean, they were worried about that, wringing their hands. Oh, my gosh, it floated out to sea. Now what? All the dead fish. And then they went back out to look at all the damage and the catastrophe that it was causing. It was gone. The ocean took care of it. So, I mean, more oil spills into the ocean naturally every single day than we could ever spill accidentally.
And this is a great time for the Pat Gray renewable resource theory.
And that's exactly what oil is, a renewable resource.
I love it.
I just don't believe it's fossil fuel. I don't believe it. I think it's a reoccurring natural goo that happens in the earth. I don't know where it comes from, but it does recur. It does renew.
So it's not dinosaur bones and plants that turned into this thing that magically runs engines?
I don't think so. Nope. I mean, again, for the millionth time, we were supposed to have peak oil in 1920. Then we were going to have peak oil in 1940. Then it was going to be 1960. We're not going to have any oil. We better switch to something else. We better cut back. Nope, we had plenty. 1980. Oh, the oil shortage in 1980s, in the 70s and 80s. Oh, my gosh. Well, that went away. Then it was 1990s. And, okay, we're going to tap completely out here by the next century. By the 2000s, we better be on to something else. And then we found massive oil reserves again. And we continue to do that all the time.
I've talked about it on this show, how I had a textbook in 5th grade. So it would have been 1987, 88. Yeah. Bernie Elementary School. Hello, Georgia. So I remember this chart, and it had a list of all of these countries. And it said what year they were going to run out of oil. And I remember furthest one out. I just remember this. Just remember that moment. 2020 was the furthest out date.
Really?
Because I remember seeing 1999 on a country, 2000, 2005. And I just remember, okay, what's the furthest out? When are we going to completely run out of oil? It was 2020.
And do you know what country? You don't remember what?
I don't know, man. It was all sorts
Saudi
of...
Arabia,
It was
probably.
OPEC countries, the U.S. I can't even remember what the U.S. was. But I just remember long-term, furthest out date was 2020.
And isn't it interesting how instead we've got more than we ever had? And all of a sudden they found so much reserve, so much oil that we haven't even tapped into, that we have more oil and gas than any country on earth. And then you'll hear the same thing about Saudi Arabia, and you'll hear the same thing about Venezuela. I just heard something about Venezuela's reserves, untapped reserves, that's going to last them forever. I mean, they've certainly squandered their ability to use those resources, but they've got a ton of it, and it's because it keeps recurring. It keeps renewing. All right, let me tell you about Tommy John. Tommy John underwear and loungewear. Man, I love this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The loungewear, I absolutely love it. It's all I wear at home. It is so comfortable to just lounge around in, which is probably why they call it loungewear. When you're wearing it, it's just so silky soft.
It is the greatest thing ever.
It's excellent. It doesn't ride up. Just like the underwear. The underwear doesn't ride up. You don't have that to worry about. So you can do everything better. And you just feel better. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics. People that absolutely love their stuff. Over hundreds of thousands of fanatics, in fact.
Yeah. You remember, they set us up when they started advertising with Pat Gray Unleashed. They set us up with some nice undergarments. Mm-hmm. And I will say I was so thrilled with them that I have made substantial purchases, plural, since then. I am such a Tommy John fan.
We're believers. I mean, we love it. Breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. Fantastic. I absolutely love it and can't imagine life without it now. There's no risk because you're covered with Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or it's free guarantee. Right now, get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/unleashed. That's a huge discount. 20% off your first order of underwear and loungewear at TommyJohn.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
See the site for all the details, by the way. So anyway, these lunatics like David Attenborough they continue to try to scare us into oblivion. When it's interesting, and they never made mention of this during the whole film, and they continually talking about how things improved so quickly. It's like, wow, so the Earth does that by itself, huh? Okay, well, that's fascinating.
And we knew that this was going to be a test run for the Green New Deal. When they locked us down, said, oh boy.
So now what they want to do are lockdowns when we don't need to do lockdowns, so that you just let the planet heal for a few days or a few weeks or a few months. Or who knows, maybe it'll stretch out to years.
Eternity.
COVID-19 lockdowns produced a 2.4 billion ton decrease in CO2 emissions in 2020. That's 7%. This has informed a belief that lockdowns are a viable method of cutting carbon emissions by 2050.
Here we go.
Isn't that great? Measures such as banning private transport, moratorium on meat consumption. Wouldn't that be great? Just do a moratorium. You can't eat meat.
So we got
for a year.
No personal travel. Mm-hmm. No meat.
No meat.
Okay.
And ending fossil fuel production, which again, there's no fossil fuels, would be mandated by governments worldwide. Oh, well, that sounds fair. Yeah, that seems like freedom, right? That's a choice. You can't choose. Oh, well, you can't choose to have meat. No. Now, can you choose to kill your baby? Yes, of course, obviously.
Yes.
Don't
We've
be
been
stupid.
over this.
Don't be stupid, but you cannot choose to eat meat. Nor can you take your own transportation. You got to use public transportation. Mm-hmm. And by the way, we don't want you using any gasoline or natural gas.
Any other restrictions? I mean, so far it's pretty free. It's only 3 things.
Free.
Let's see. We got
3 little things.
We got no travel.
No meat.
No meat. No fossil fuels. What else do you need in life?
Right?
What am I missing? What's up?
Lockdowns are a crucial dress rehearsal for addressing climate change by reducing consumerism and providing homeostasis.
Okay, see?
For low-emission living.
Looks like we're done here.
Yeah, we are. Just 3 things. 3 little things. You can't do that?
Right.
No travel, no meat, no fossil fuels.
Think of all of the things you do in the course of a day.
Yeah.
They're only asking for 3 of them to be suspended. I mean, obviously you...
Yeah, stop your belly aching.
You can't leave your house under this scenario. You can't eat what you want for lunch or dinner. Well,
right, breakfast.
Breakfast, most people skip, right? I mean, that's it, right?
That's it.
Travel and eating.
Not a big deal. And fossil fuels, you can't.
Well,
can't obviously heat your home with natural
gas.
gas.
Yeah, and so you just open the windows, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, here lately in Texas has been perfect.
Oh, perfect.
Right? I mean,
when that humidity just piles in after you open the door. Oh, doesn't that feel good?
What's pretty awesome is when you go out during a hailstorm and then on your way back in, the hail just follows you into the house.
Yeah, that's fun.
Those are fun times. You just leave the windows open and then you don't have to worry about opening the door for the hail.
Good times. Yeah, good times. Other voices prompted this policy in political spheres. Germany's Social Democratic Party member of parliament, Karl Lauterbach, authored an op-ed urging environmental policies analogous to the restrictions on personal freedom to combat the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like it's reasonable. UK's Green Party praised lockdowns for providing a vision of how different a world might be. So, yeah, it's possible.
It sure would be.
Boy, they're going to do it, too. I'll bet you they're going to try to do it. If we just sit around and let them do this the way they want to. You don't think Biden would be on board with that? Absolutely.
He'll sign whatever's put in front of him.
Sure he will. His overlords are already telling him. Joe, just sign it. Do I get pudding? Yes. We'll give you pudding. You get pudding after you sign it. Okay.
He's in prime form, too.
He had some numbers to talk about yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, he's doing a tax speech. And you remember, if there's a number anywhere within the same zip code...
He's got a problem with it. And here's what happened.
But the last thing Americans with the amount of wealth needs is another tax break.
Wait,
we
what?
need to make a choice.
Stop for a second.
Nobody knows, man. He's not even gotten to the numbers yet.
What? But they're asking Americans to tax another tax.
Yeah, it almost sounds like he endorsed a tax cut or something there. Like, what did he say? Straight over.
Wait, what?
Listen to this.
All right. Listen carefully
now.
The
last thing Americans with the amount of wealth needs is another tax break.
Pause it.
We need to make a choice.
I have no idea.
But the last thing Americans with the wealth and a tax break.
Oh, you skipped around. Yeah, the last thing Americans' wealth around tax break.
What are you talking about?
He doesn't even know. He honestly does not know. 5 minutes after he speaks here,
so great.
He has no idea what just happened.
Right.
No question.
And he has no idea what's happening right now.
Right now, yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's start.
The last thing Americans with the amount of wealth needs is another tax break. We need to make a choice and eliminate the loophole.
Okay.
Only the gains above people making $2 million a year. Or excuse me, a couple. A rate of capital gains rate for people making more than $1 million a year, which, by the way, would affect 0.3% of all taxpayers. 0.3% of the top 1%.
Pause it.
And close another loophole.
Okay, so they're going to pay income tax and capital gains?
Yeah, what's your problem?
On more than $1 million?
Don't you want them to pay their fair share? Can I just say, though?
Again, could we determine the fair share before we start slapping them with fair shares?
The president of the United States, I don't know where he's speaking, like in a dirty basement with a bug zapper, these fluorescent lights humming. Like, I have... Y'all awake yet? Y'all good and up and at 'em?
That's what's going on.
Well, yeah, and so I was just going to say that, like, with my podcast at themikeshow.com, I have audio issues that when I travel and remotely and stuff like that, but I'm not the president of the United States.
Right.
You'd think that some scout team would look ahead and say, let's not do it here, or let's bring in our own lights. But they've got, like, literally, I feel like somebody's probably being tortured off to the side. Listen to this humming and stuff. I can't even...
0.3% of all taxpayers. 0.3% of the top 1%. And close another loophole, like the real estate investor loophole. The wealthiest simply paying the same rate on their wages and investment income that raises $40 billion a year.
What?
For the next 10 years.
Stop. Hold on. Okay, you got to run that back. We got to go back to the beginning of that.
You haven't even gotten to the fun yet.
I don't even know what that was.
First of all, I don't know what 0.3% of the top 1%. Was that a quote? I maybe.
Yes.
Is that what it was?
No, he did say that. 0.3% of 1% of the top 1%.
I mean, this is always a dangerous game for me to mock Biden's math prowess because But
come on, he's got it in front of him. He's got it on a teleprompter. You can't even just read it off the freaking prompter. It's a number. Read it off the prompter. You're not coming up with this out of your head. You're not just making this up. You're not doing the math right now. It's in front of you. Read it.
Stop trying to do this stuff on the fly.
Jeez. All right, let's see that section again.
That's a loophole. The wealthiest simply paying the same rate on their wages and investment income that raises $40 billion a year.
Not the best
for the next 10
man
years.
Come. What?
The reason I'm bothering to do this is I keep hearing on the press Biden's going to raise your taxes.
Yeah, he is.
Anybody making less than $400,000 a year will not pay a single penny in taxes.
Whoa!
Pause it for a second.
Whoa, good news.
That's a good promise right there. I like that.
Yes!
Anybody making less than $400,000, you won't pay a single penny in tax.
Wow.
Your gross is your net.
I got to be honest.
Thank you, Joe Biden.
If you had which president will eliminate income taxes for the majority of Americans, and you had Joe Biden in that pool, boy, you have a big payday. Because I did not see that coming.
Yeah, neither did he. So, neither did he. That's the unfortunate thing. All right, let's have him finish this out.
The reason I'm bothering to do this is I keep hearing on the press Biden's going to raise your taxes. Anybody making less than $400,000 a year will not pay a single penny in taxes.
Say that again?
Anybody making less than $400,000 a year will not pay a single penny in taxes. And we will not increase the deficit either.
What?
Unlike the last gigantic tax cut, which increased the deficit by $2 trillion.
No,
it's
that
about
didn't
balancing the
deficit.
system and
Pause
growing
it for
the
a second.
economy.
Again, for the billionth time. Tax cuts don't increase the deficit. In fact, in every case, they bring in more revenue. In every case. Every time there's a tax cut, because people do better with the tax cut and do more things with it, and because capitalism works, it just does, more revenue comes into the system. Giving a tax cut doesn't do anything to the deficit. What does something to the deficit is your stinking spending, you moron. Buffoon.
No. You remember yesterday you were talking about Warren Buffett and the secretary argument?
Yeah.
Okay, well, apparently the Democrats are really dusting that one off because here we go.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Here we go.
It means wealthy investors no longer pay lower marginal tax rates than their secretary pays.
Okay.
The secretary in their office.
Old lie.
Do you want to know what that would do? That would take that money and extend the life-changing middle-class tax cut.
What that would
Put it in place for American Rescue Plan and expand child care tax credit.
He's gone.
I mentioned earlier that's $1,700 in the pockets of a family with 2 kids for now through 2025.
He don't know.
Look,
He's like,
just closing these loopholes by
doesn't.
taxing investment income at the same rate as wages for the wealthiest Americans.
What?
Would have enough
Okay,
to
pause it
extend
for a
this
second.
again.
Okay, we're going to have to carry this over because that, I mean, he doesn't even know what he's
I love
saying
that.
here.
You
It's
see
not
how he's
making any sense
looking
at
into the
all.
camera? You want to know what that would do?
You want to know, do what that did? What? Can I have my pudding now?
No.
Is it time?
Read.
Tapioca this time. Tapioca pudding.
Pat Gray.
Got some tweets here before we get back into the Biden speech yesterday, whatever that was. Wow. Watcher 17 tweets, you guys want to break the news to the woke left? that Coke was invented by a Confederate officer? Yeah, John Pemberton. And what was the story? He had an injury from the war.
From the war, and he developed an addiction to morphine. And so he was trying to figure out an alternative to that. Which, what did that lead to, Pat?
Him adding cocaine to the cola mix.
Wait, cocaine?
Cocaine. And that's
cola?
Yeah, that's where you get the name Coke. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I would like to see them revisit their founders.
Yeah, I would too. I would too. Let's see. The original Coke formula had a significant amount of cocaine in it.
No wonder it was popular.
It was quickly limited, and by 1903 or thereabout, it was eliminated from the recipe. So that was even before all the FDA stuff. That was before the FDA existed. So somehow they got that out.
Yeah. There's a great podcast, Business Wars, where they go through the Coke versus Pepsi battle. And I just loved it how, like, these guys, I think it was Pepsi that sent people in and to this pharmacy in Atlanta where they were serving Coke. And they would order a Coke and they would sneak it out like in a flask or whatever and take it back to the lab and try to copy it and stuff. I mean,
great.
Good stuff.
Other guy, Taco Melanak, tweets, will that hole in the sky fix itself too? Asking for a tree. Yeah, it will, actually. It will. They won't tell you that, but it will.
Okay.
Attack Yuki tweets, oil is a naturally occurring mineral from within the earth. Rockefeller came up with the fossil fuel nonsense to make oil seem more limited and scare and drive up prices.
Man, is that true?
I bet it is. Fast forward 100 years, and here we are. That is fascinating. I like that. We're going to follow up on that.
I'm looking it up right now.
Gotta look into that. Zach Casey Anderson tweets, so will most of the people in Congress pay more taxes since they make over $1 million? Yeah.
Isn't that something? Their salary
Sure.
is nowhere near $1 million, yet somehow they're among the most wealthy people in our nation.
Yeah, isn't that something? That's interesting. Is there a number of people can call Ivan, or...
Yeah, it's the number of their stockbroker is where the congressmen call when they get some insider trading info. Sniff, sniff.
All right, so where were we on the tax speech yesterday? Let's play the last part that we just heard for the break, and we'll go from there.
$1,700 in the pockets of family with 2 kids for now through 2025. Look, just closing these loopholes by taxing investment income at the same rate as wages for the wealthiest Americans.
Okay, I got to hear that again. Taxing what in income at the same rate?
Wealth, I think he said.
Wealth?
Is that what he said?
Taxing wealth and income at the same rate? So the money you've already made that's already been taxed, you're going to tax that at the same rate as the new money coming in? Is that what you're saying?
Wait a minute. What is happening here?
I don't know. Let's hear that again.
Family with 2 kids.
All right.
For now through 2025.
Look, Pat.
Just closing these loopholes by taxing investment income at the same rate as wages for the wealthiest Americans.
Okay, pause it.
Would have enough to...
Wow. Taxing investment income at the same rate as income tax. So almost 40%. So they're going to tax your investments at 40%, and your income tax is 40%. Good gosh. Why? Hey, douchebag, do you know that the investment money, the money they're investing, has already been taxed? So you're going to tax it again at the same rate you're taxing their initial income.
But at least you're not going to tax it a third time when they die, right, Pat? That'd be overkill.
That would be overkill, and they do it. And they're going to do it. And they're raising the estate tax, too. They're putting it back up at 50%.
Madness.
It's immoral. Why does the government have a right to take all of this money from you? Why? Well, I'll tell you why. He's kind of explained that already. Because when he claims that tax cuts raise the deficit, it shows you that he believes your money actually belongs to the government.
Right.
Because they're not allowing you to keep more of your money. That's not what that's about. You're taking money from the government. That's income we're counting on. And so if I'm not getting that from you, then you've caused me a deficit.
This is the same.
Which even in that mentality is wrong, because the revenue will increase every single time you give people a tax cut.
They refuse to empower us.
So maddening. Yeah,
they refuse to trust you.
Well, why? Because they're Marxists.
Yes.
They don't trust us. They don't trust the system. They don't trust capitalism and the free market system. They don't trust any of it.
I've got to find a Bill Clinton quote, because this is just the Democratic mindset. He was in Buffalo early in his term, and he was talking about. I got to find the quote because it's almost unbelievable. But he just says, "Yeah, we could give you a tax cut, but you may not spend it as well as we would." That's almost verbatim. I've got to find this clip, but
my gosh, jeez.
This is the liberal mindset.
Yeah,
this is the progressive way of life.
It's
they don't
their
trust
money
you for anything.
No, they don't. And they're making no bones about this government stuff either. They're telling us that you need the government, and people are realizing now they need the government. No. You know what? We need the government to stop shutting down our businesses. That's what we need. They're claiming that people have realized, because they're so dependent on these checks now that they're getting from the government, that they need the government. Government needs to be big because we need to take care of you. You can't do this on your own. Well, the reason they're getting those checks from you is because you forced their business to close. So, in this particular case, they need some of their money back because you took it from them already. Oh, this is madness. It's really tough to get through. Does he go through more numbers? Does he stumble even more?
How much is left in this insanity, Rob?
It's very short.
Okay, let's see the rest.
Look. Just closing these loopholes by taxing investment income at the same rate as wages for the wealthiest Americans would have enough to extend this again through 2025.
Pudding? Could I get pudding through 2025? No, keep going. I mean, there's more, right?
I think that's it.
That's it? No, because there was more after that already. We've heard more than this.
No, that's it. That's the end of the clip.
Oh.
What were you expecting to say? Just kidding. I'm really all here, y'all. This is what I meant to say just then. Let me give you a coherent version.
That's as bad as we've seen him in a while.
Yeah, and Steve Deace,
he's bad there.
Here on The Blaze yesterday, posited the theory that maybe he's worse outside. And I thought there might be something to that. Are these clips when he's outdoors, maybe he's less coherent?
Maybe he can't see the teleprompter as well.
Well, I don't know. I believed that theory. I kind of bought onto that for a couple hours, and then that speech happened indoors, and you're like, okay, so much for that theory, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, I mean, he's gone, man.
I don't know. I think he just is.
If they think they're going to get 2 years out of this horse.
Ooh, no way.
Ooh.
No way. Ooh. 6 months to a year. I'm hanging on to that.
I mean, you've said by the end of the year.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, the smart money is on that plan.
He's bad. I mean, that's bad. Because all he has to do is read what is there. That's it. That's all you got to do, man. Come on, man.
We are 2.5 months into this ride.
Oh, it's been a horrific ride, too. This guy has done more damage already, I think, than Obama did in 8 years. He's done more damage than just about any president outside of FDR already. It's madness. All right, let me take a minute and tell you about Patriot Mobile. Great news about Patriot Mobile. They've expanded their coverage dramatically, so that makes it easier for more Americans to dump their big-name carriers who charge them way too much and then donate money to left-wing causes. That's why I'm really proud to partner with Patriot Mobile, because they've never sent a penny to the left, and they're not trying to silence you. They're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Plus, you can switch with confidence because they use the same network as the larger providers, but they charge a lot less, and they make switching easy. You can keep your phone number, keep your phone, or do new ones of both. Build your own bundle, too, with multi-line discounts, and that'll save you even more money. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Pat, and you could also call their U.S.-based customer service team at 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. This month, get free Premier activation where they set up the phone for you, and you get a special gift when you use the offer code PAT. So go to patriotmobile.com/Pat, patriotmobile.com/Pat, or 972-PATRIOT.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Hey, Pat, I have that Bill Clinton quote. I want to thank, gosh, I got to be able to pronounce your handle. Conservative Voice, JC. Cool. Okay, so he just sent me this, and the thing closed. Here it is, 1993, I believe it was, Buffalo, New York, or 1999. Sorry, here we go. Oh, gosh, I just had to close. Oh, here we go. I've had some people become very upset with me because I am, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Oh, gosh, this isn't the thing that I just had open. But he did say that we could spend your money better, quote, because it's not their money.
We could spend your money better because it's not our money?
Yeah, this isn't the, no, just the because it's not their money is the actual quote.
Jeez.
Anyway, I will find this. I just had it, and I had to go back to the other screen, and now Control F. Anyhow, okay. I'll get this. I'm sorry. All right. I'll find it.
Meantime, speaking of Biden yesterday and his incredible performance, what's going on here with they visited the Carters?
Yeah, last week in Atlanta.
And took a cute little photo. It looks like maybe in the Carters' living room or den or something. And there's Jill with Jimmy.
Wait, that's definitely
and
the
Joe with
the Carters for sure.
Rosalind, yeah. Uh-huh.
That's really them.
Yeah, they look like the miniature Carters in
right?
that picture.
Look how Joe's kneeling down. He has to.
Joe looks like a giant,
and
compared
he's
to her.
on his knee.
Yeah,
and he looks like a giant.
Come on, the Jolly Blue Giant. Doesn't he look extra large there? That's
honestly,
really weird. That's weird.
What is happening with
somebody
this
manipulated
photo?
that photo to make the Carters look teeny?
No, I
come
think,
on.
No, because that was released by the Carter Center.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I know they're in their 90s, but come on, they're not that teeny, are they?
Yeah, and hold on, is this the same first couple, Joe and Jill, who walk outdoors with masks on?
Yeah, that's the thing. The Carters are in their 90s, and you two just came into this house without your masks on?
That's irresponsible.
Are you trying to kill them dead?
Wow.
Is that what you're trying to do?
How dare you?
Look at, they're trying to kill Grandma Rosalind and Grandpa Jimmy. That's what they're trying to do. I don't care if they've been vaccinated. I thought that we didn't know yet whether the vaccine protects other people or just you. Huh. I bet the Carters have been vaccinated too.
They have. Remember they were part of that fun video where we got the goofy smile from Jimmy?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, and here he is doing his cute little 3-year-old thing. He's going to pick a dandelion for his wife. This is beautiful.
That's a weird European type suit cut, I'd like to say.
Look at this pretty flower. It's
Joe,
gone to
leave
seed.
leave it. Okay,
Jill.
thank you.
Jill,
Thank you
you'll
so much.
cherish that forever, won't you?
I will.
Okay.
Yeah, is for forever 3 seconds, Joe?
1, 2.
He did salute, by the way.
She just threw it down. It's gone. It's gone. And she threw it on the ground. She loved it, though. She don't think she didn't love it, because she did. She loved it.
I love how she used she knew exactly where the primary camera was, and she used that marine for cover.
As cover. Exactly right. That's fantastic. All right, 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Speaking of killing Grandma and Grandpa, wow. Some interesting comments from Andrew Cuomo yesterday. This is crazy. Governor Cuomo talking to people who don't take the vaccine, don't want to take the vaccine. Here's what he had to say to you.
Who are the groups we're targeting on the vaccination? Youthful and the doubtful.
and there is an attitude that they'll be fine. Why should they take the vaccine? Maybe you will get a long haul syndrome that we're not really sure what it is yet, but a lingering consequence of COVID. Or maybe you go home and kiss your grandmother and wind up killing your grandmother.
Wow. From the guy who knows about killing lots and lots and lots of grandmothers and grandfathers. How many has he killed? I don't know, 14, 15,000?
Takes one to know one, Andy.
Wow. You know what? You might want to sit this one out, Andrew, on the whole grandma and grandpa dying thing from COVID. Yeah, you might want to sit that one out.
This guy has no...
That's unbelievable.
That whole family has no self-awareness.
None. Absolute zero self-awareness. If you had just been responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of seniors, everybody knows it. And in fact, you're being investigated for covering it all up. Everybody knows it. It's been all over the news. And then you're also willing to say something like that? The ego of that. It's really hard to get your head around. That is absolutely astounding. Wow. All right, so there you go. 888-900-3393. Here's the quote from Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
I can spend your money better than you can. He literally said that.
Yeah, that's a quote from the Washington Times, I believe.
Post State of the Union speech in Buffalo, New York, January 20th, 1999, he was asked, why not a tax cut if we have a surplus? We could give it all back to you and hope you spend it right. But if you don't spend it right, here's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and then he goes on to...
I can spend your money better than you can.
Yeah, so, I mean, this...
Oh, the elitism is pretty hard to take. But there it is. Thank you, Democrats. Thank you. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Got this tweet from Kevin Davis. I'll support the green movement when they go after the biggest polluter country on this planet, communist China. Yeah, I still won't support the green movement, even then. Super intelligent bathroom bowl brush. Oh, there is one, apparently. Okay. I'm just wondering when Google Translate will have a category for 86-year-old president of the USA. From LK Tax Pro, luckily, I speak fluent bureaucrat. What POTUS was saying was, I know nothing about how taxes work. Just give me all your money. Don't ask any questions.
Yeah, no joke.
They make me want to hurl. Tweets. So we're supposed to go to Uncle Sam for our allowance now? What determines how much I get? Well, whether you're a good boy or girl. I think that's... are you towing the line? Are you...
not white? What's that?
That's an important question.
Yeah.
That really is.
Well, there's a story today I hope we get to. And if you're white, government's not sending you...
oh, well, the white farmers thing, right?
Yes, the white farmers thing.
White farmers are a little pissed off, actually. And white farmers in the Midwest are suing because they've been left out of the deal.
Wait, why are we reading news stories from South Africa?
Yeah, this isn't South Africa. This is Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, wow, okay.
A group of Midwestern farmers sued the federal government, alleging they can't participate in a COVID-19 loan forgiveness program because they're white. It used to be that you can't divvy things out, like, I don't know, money based on the color of people's skin.
Equal protection under the law? Or something quaint and archaic like that?
Yes. The group of plaintiffs includes farmers from Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Ohio. According to the lawsuit, the Biden administration's COVID-19 stimulus plan provides $4 billion to forgive loans for socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers who are Black, American Indian, Hispanic, Alaskan Native, Asian American, or Pacific Islander. White farmers are not eligible. Don't bother applying.
Wow.
Amounting to a violation of the plaintiff's constitutional rights, according to the lawsuit. Of course. Well, duh. Were plaintiffs eligible for the loan forgiveness benefit They would have the opportunity to make additional investments in their property, expand their farms, purchase equipment and supplies, and otherwise support their families and local communities. Because plaintiffs are ineligible to even apply for the program solely due to their race, they've been denied the equal protection of the law and therefore suffered harm. That's great.
You never answer the race question on forms, on documents. You just don't. You don't want them to say, oh, look how disproportionate the white people are getting this loan or this whatever. You just don't answer the question.
And now, when you answer that question, you can pretty well count on discrimination.
Yes.
So you got that going for you now, too. Now, who's receiving some of this fabulous money that the government is doling out to disadvantaged people?
People that need it, obviously.
People that need it.
Yes.
Exactly right. Like this D.C. pastor who used his COVID relief funds to purchase 39 cars and a house.
I mean, who among us?
Right? I mean, you can't get by on 38 cars. We all know that. So he went the extra mile and got 39. 39 cars and a house.
I mean, we often say on this program, you shouldn't have to answer like how much is too much or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
your fair share.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Yeah, a pastor in Washington, D.C. reportedly used over $1 million in COVID-19 relief funds to buy dozens of cars and a house. CBS Baltimore reports that Rudolph Brooks Jr., pastor and founder of the Kingdom Tabernacle of Restoration Ministries.
Okay.
Love that place. We worship there all the time when we go to Baltimore.
What's your favorite one of the Restoration Ministries?
The one in Baltimore.
Okay.
I love it. I really do. Every time we're in Baltimore, that's where we go.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And how big's the parking lot? Probably a lot of cars in it.
Not big enough, I'll tell you that.
I mean, when the pastor's got 39 cars parked out front.
Right, exactly. It's been charged with federal wire fraud for falsifying documents relating to his application for the funds. He allegedly used money he received from the government to, of course, buy 39 cars and a house in Baltimore. Pastor Brooks may have more than $2.2 million seized alongside a 2018 Tesla Model 3.
Oh, come on, man.
So he didn't get extravagant. It's just the Model 3. What are those, 40 grand? Ah, right? Leave him alone.
Martin, how much? Martin's always pricing. He's always window shopping Teslas. Martin,
it's about 40.
Yeah. It's nicely equipped. It's about 40,000.
But I mean, this is like an oldie. This is 2018.
Yeah, right. But if you want all the bells and whistles, and you're looking at probably like 50 or 60.
Yeah.
Would you ever sleep in a Tesla and just trust it, Martin?
Probably, yeah.
Would you? Just put it on autopilot, let it go.
Just let it go. Let it
crawl in the back, go take a nap. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a good idea. It really is. What could go wrong?
Well, I mean, we don't have any recent evidence for sure.
Right.
That would say don't do that.
Brooks reportedly obtained the tax-funded financial support after the first coronavirus relief bill was enacted March 2020. The bill intended to provide financial assistance to struggling businesses and individuals, provided up to $659 billion in forgivable loans to companies that were impacted by the government's lockdown. Brooks, who also owns a car company called Cars Direct.
Oh, well then.
Applied for a PPP loan on behalf of the company in the amount of $1.556 million and allegedly submitted fraudulent tax forms reporting $724,000 in payments and an additional $7.4 million in total unemployment payments to employees. So he got a lot of money from the government.
So wait a second.
And it might be up to $2.2 million.
Is he selling these cars? So basically he's taking your money, you watching this show, you listening, he takes your money, gets these cars, and is reselling them? I have no idea if that's the rest of the story. Good day.
Let's see.
Sounds like it. Sounds like he's
flipping That's what he's doing.
Man, God. Did you get a thank you from him?
No.
For paying
not
for
at
these
all.
cars and house and stuff?
Not at all. He listed the gross revenue for Cars Direct as well below the numbers he would later put into the PPP application at a mere $148,000. The PPP loan was ultimately approved, depositing $1.5 million into one of his accounts. Jeez. Nice.
I can tell you one thing. Dude you're talking about isn't a white farmer.
Right.
That's for sure.
Right. So he's accused of using that bank account and others to transfer the loan money. Wow, nice little scam he had going.
Nice job, Jeffy, man.
Yeah.
He got his brother there, basically.
So he bought a bunch of, the 39 vehicles, including a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, 2 2017 Infiniti Q50s, Cadillac Escalade. Oh, no, this is nice. A 2005 Bentley Continental, a Tesla Model 3, the 2014 GMC Yukon XL, and several other late model luxury vehicles.
But he didn't buy a Cybertruck.
Apparently not.
Wow. That's a opportunity lost there. You think he might lay low and buy some clunkers, mix it in,
Yeah.
Maybe throw in a Honda Accord or something like that, something less flashy. But
no, that's beneath him. Come on.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's beneath him. So taxpayer costs are soaring for Biden's border surge.
Oh, no.
According to new contracts. The cost to U.S. taxpayers for the border crisis continues to surge. Well, you know what? We don't have any idea how much this is actually costing. I mean, this is just what we know about. All the clandestine stuff they're doing to cover this up.
Yep.
Like sending kids all over the country. They are sending kids all over the nation. Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky, all over the Midwest.
Yep.
And then just sending military personnel to guard them for a while, to stay with them, babysit them, basically. They're not giving them any COVID tests. And then they put them in a bus and ship them out to families once they finally find them.
And these costs that the federal government is reporting along the border, those are in addition to what you just said. You just threw out Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky. All these communities are absorbing these costs in so many ways, not only financially, but socially and health-wise. And by the way, kudos to Texas. As you mentioned yesterday, we're doing so well with our COVID numbers. And that's after they've released these people into the country, untested, COVID positive.
Yes. And something like, at one point, 20% of them were COVID positive. And then you're just releasing them into Texas cities. What do you think is going to happen? Somehow we've contained that. I don't know how. It's miraculous, really.
This goes back to that room in the corner, the basement of the White House, where they get together on Monday morning and plot their destruction of America every week.
Well, that's what we're going to do next.
What do you got? What do you got, Pat? What do you got? What do you got? Tell us. What are you laughing about? What? What should we do? What? Hold on. No, everybody.
Get this. Get this.
Get in here.
Okay. They just dropped their COVID restrictions all over the state.
Talking about Texas? Okay.
Yeah, Texas.
Okay.
They just dropped their COVID restrictions, and they're doing really well. What we're going to do is send a whole bunch of COVID positive kids into their cities and infect them, and the rates will go right back up, and we'll blame the restrictions going away.
Yeah, and they can't object because it's kids. What, do you hate kids?
Right.
We're buying drinks for Pat tonight, y'all. This is a genius. Yes.
That's what's going on.
And they've got
That's
a
what
map.
they're doing.
They've got a map in this basement room of the union, and they've got the red states clearly marked. And then Texas, they put a Post-it note on that, release COVID kids in Texas. Next week, we go for Florida. We'll do something to Florida next week.
Right. Would that be great? Everybody likes this DeSantis guy. Wait till they see what we do to him.
Okay. All right. Don't forget. All right. We're buying drinks next week for whoever comes up with a plot to destroy Florida.
That's pretty bad. But
you know it's so accurate too.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely it is. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
And then, Kamala Harris, whose job it is supposedly to oversee the border, has no interest in even going to the border, checking out the border, talking about the border, doing anything about the border. And supposedly she's the one that Joe put in charge of it.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The Biden administration has spent hundreds of millions of dollars for meals, medical care, legal services, and temporary facilities for those illegally entering the southern border. The contracts reviewed were awarded by the Departments of Homeland Security and Health and Human Services And many are just initial awards, as some of the contracts indicate they could reach higher amounts. Of course they could. Some of the contracts have also have notations that they could be extended until 2022. Why not? Why not just keep it going indefinitely? The border crisis contracts potentially extending through next year coincide with Vice President Kamala Harris's comments to CNN on Sunday when she told the network it's not going to be solved overnight. This is a complex issue. Listen, if this were easy, it would have been handled years ago. Brilliant. Providing care for adults, family units, and unaccompanied alien children in record numbers is complex. And the amount of taxpayer funds being spent is soaring. One contract to provide an emergency intake site and care services for unaccompanied alien children was awarded for $268.8 million. Oh my gosh. And under its terms, costs could potentially rise to $579.5 million.
Oh boy.
An additional emergency intake site in Houston cost $5.3 million. That's chump change. That could potentially reach $15.4 million. Still not a big deal. I mean, you're not even into the billions yet. When you get to the billions, let us know.
Yeah, your tax dollars at work.
In the meantime, we're going back to sleep.
Yeah. So, do you think it's a map that they have in this room, or do you think it's more like a wheel of woke or whatever we got? You know, like you spin this, and then let's see what state we're gonna screw over today. What red state is on our hit list? Oh, Missouri! We're coming for you next! You've been a little too lax with this.
You know why? This is great.
Why?
Because Missouri is trying to pass a law where if you take off through a crowd that's surrounded your vehicle in traffic,
okay,
we're not going to prosecute you.
Oh,
so this will serve them right.
This will get them.
Haters, racist.
Getting your comeuppance, show me state. We're going to show you the federal government.
That'll teach them.
Yep.
That'll learn them some manners.
Got to keep these states in check. Under your thumb, under your federal thumb.
Can't take it. I just can't take it.
It's a bad time, America.
Do you have Oklahoma up there? Because they're doing the same,
really?
the same thing.
We'll just add them. I put
just add them.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Anybody
just
else?
Put them right under Missouri. We'll do them both.
That's a twofer. Oh, yeah. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The next state to screw over by the Biden administration. Missouri and Oklahoma. We're coming for you both.
We got the daily double right there. All right, let me tell you about Omega XL. If you're in pain and, it's not caused by the agonizing news that you're hearing, but instead inflammation, like the inflammation I had in my elbow that was just radiating down my arm, it really was not good. And it changed my life. I couldn't even lift things with my left arm. And that went on for months. And then I finally tried Omega XL. After about a week, it built up in my system to the point where the pain started to lessen. And after 2 weeks, the pain was gone and hasn't been back since. Omega XL is backed by 35 years of clinical research. They really know what they're doing. And this has essentially an off switch to inflammation. It turns off the inflammation. And thus the pain goes away. So if you'd like something that actually works for you and it's not a drug, something that's habit forming, something you're going to get messed up on, this is not it. This is all natural and you're going to love it. Just tiny little gel caps, super easy to take. To get you started, when you order one bottle of Omega XL right now, you'll get a second bottle free. Visit OmegaXL.com/Pat. That's OmegaXL.com/Pat or call 800-844-4888. How else would you know about Bata Cath Care? You wouldn't. No other show's talking about Bata Cath Care.
Nope.
Just us. You're not going to hear that today. Even on Glenn's show, I bet you don't hear Bata Cath Care. I bet you don't hear it.
I bet you'll hear about the Chamber of Commerce. What was that?
I don't know if you will or not. I don't know if that's on the menu today. Got some tweets here. Other guy, Kevin Small Math Basskert, tweets, Bill Clinton can spend my money better than me if spending means taking the Epstein Express regularly and paying for Epstein to kill himself.
In quotes.
To kill himself. Comrade Snoobage, talking about the 39 cars. It's nice to have a different car for every day of the month. Could you imagine having to use the same car every day? Yeah, with about 8 spares, too, that you could...
Right.
You got in there somewhere. You don't even have to use them in a course of the month. You don't even have to do it twice.
Right.
Be pretty great.
Cool.
The Devil's Cackle. What wing of the White House does Jim Crow Joe allow his employees to reside in? Or is it some sort of guest house?
Wow. Yeah.
Good question. Good question. Speaking of the Devil's Cackle, who tweeted this to us?
Yeah, that's the handle, right?
Yeah. We've got some video of Nancy Pelosi from yesterday.
My office and see it. But until COVID enables you to do that, I brought it here. This is a picture.
Yeah.
This is a picture of my father and the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt. It was the first time he had a hearing.
That's her father right there.
Of the District of Columbia.
I mean, she said
Appropriations Subcommittee. As chair of that committee, he was known as the unofficial mayor of Washington.
That is a scream. Somebody obviously substituted her father for the Satan from the dating ads.
Is that really? That
Yeah.
wasn't her father?
No, I don't think
that was
so.
nicely done.
Really nicely done.
If you're
Funny.
listening to the podcast and not enjoying this through your Blaze TV subscription, the Speaker of the House holds up a photo of Eleanor Roosevelt standing next to
Satan from the match ads.
Here's a picture of my father. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's funny.
I wish I had that kind of skill, man.
Yeah, that's funny. Sheeple's Republic of Massachusetts, Pathead. So the undocumented migrants get all the free stuff, but the veterans don't. Let that sink in. Yeah, that's not funny. That's just really sad. It's just really pathetic.
Yep.
And it keeps happening. That kind of stuff just keeps happening. Especially under the Democrat regime. They don't care. They just don't care. Also, we have this Stanford student. She's a student government candidate who says that white people need to be eradicated. Okay. All right, that seems reasonable, right? In several tweets dug up from last year, this Stanford University sophomore who's running for re-election in student government made racist comments against white people. Is that even possible?
Right.
Can you? Notably saying that white people need to be eradicated. So that's just genocide she's talking about.
Yep.
No big deal. You don't want to take her off Twitter for that. I mean, I'm sure Jack looked at that and said, it's fine. Don't worry about it. That doesn't violate our standards. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Stanford College Republicans found the tweets posted by Gabby Crooks and began circulating them on social media. Stephen Stills of If You Can't Love, if you're not with the one you love, love the one you're with fame. Loved him with Crosby and Nash, didn't you? Plus Young.
Oh, no. No, we're not going there. No, sir.
Apparently, this is a different Stephen Stills.
Oh, okay.
A junior at Stanford. Nobody would ever call Stephen Stills a junior. He's a junior at Stanford. And the president of the organization, he told the Federalist, racism in any form is obscene. And there's a moral obligation that students need to know this stuff before they vote. Yes, I think white people need to be eradicated, she tweeted. Yes, I will go feral over mediocre white men. We exist. What? I don't even know what that means. What?
What is it with the lack of punctuation from like David Hogg? This generation
really weird.
Just doesn't know where to put periods or capital letters. It's frustrating.
Yes, I think white people need to be eradicated. Yes, I will go feral over mediocre white men. We exist. She goes to Stanford? Okay.
And no repercussions.
Have they lowered their standards?
I guarantee you, no repercussions. If she were a white dude saying that,
he'd be out of school right now.
Oh my gosh,
He'd be out
have
of
his
school.
house torched. Who knows what would happen to him?
Right. There might be riots, actually, at Stanford. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. You know who's not going to be there for very much longer? Bill with Melinda.
Oh, no, no.
Yeah, Bill and Melinda Gates getting a divorce. Come on, you two wacky lovebirds. Work it out. It's been 27 years.
Right.
Get together and just work this thing out. Isn't there somebody you can, I don't know, help together or something? Like some third world nation you can save with the new toilet or something? Melinda could do that, right?
Yeah, I need you to look into Bill's eyes. And I want you to tell him, I forgive you. I forgive you for stealing technology that has made me one of the wealthiest people on the planet. Can you do that, Melinda?
That you're such a fraud, but I forgive you for taking all the technology from Xerox and IBM and using it as your own. I forgive you. Because we've benefited from that a lot.
Yeah.
Our whole lives. And it's bought us this 65,000 square foot home that takes up most of the state of Washington.
Yeah.
And so it's been wonderful. Yes, I forgive you.
Oh, look, see?
See?
Reconciliation.
See how easy it could be?
We got there.
We could get there easily. Just remember that 65,000 square foot home. Who's going to get... I bet they have to wind up selling it. I bet that's what happens.
Oh, is there a market for that?
Yeah. What would that cost? $150, $200 million? There's going to be a huge market for that.
Should we go halvesies on it?
Yeah.
I'll keep...
Yeah.
My family can live on one side of the house. Yours can have the other?
Can you imagine? They had, 3 kids? Kids are grown now, gone. The 2 of them in a 65,000 square foot home. That's got to be fun.
I mean, you could literally...
No wonder they're getting a divorce. They never see each other at their house.
But that's just it. And I think on a really big house like that, if you just can't stand your spouse,
right,
you could just hide
you could
all
avoid
day.
Them.
Right?
Yes, you could completely avoid them.
You would literally call them on the phone. Hey, what room are you in? I'm on the 3rd. Okay, so you go down. Okay, you know where the lamp is. Where the
do you know where the indoor swimming pool is?
Right.
You take a left there.
Okay, that.
You go straight toward the basketball court. Then you take a right. And
wait, which room is it though? Which one?
It's the 14th bedroom, the guest room. The 14th
that the one
guest
with
room.
The leopard print sheets.
No, this one has the zebra.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was
motif.
I was at the 13th. Okay, I'm sorry. You're at the 14th. I mean, seriously. I mean, they've got enough space to just stay out of each other's way.
Yeah, they said there's 145 billion at stake here. Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. Of course, we just went through this, too, with the Bezos
Yeah, I was
family.
wondering if Melinda's going to call Mrs. Bezos.
Yeah.
Hey, how'd you do this?
Hey, you became the richest woman in the world. How did that work? Because I think I'm going to pass you.
Do you have the name of an attorney?
All right. In Portland over the weekend, kind of an intense reaction with the abolish the police protesters. They put up a roadblock, as they always do. They do this all the time in Portland and in Seattle. I don't know how drivers there put up with it, because sometimes they'll completely shut down the freeway, just standing in the middle of the freeway. Let me ask you a question. When did that become legal? When did it become okay and legal to stand in the middle of an active freeway? And it's okay. Police don't show up and arrest you. Well, they're shutting down streets all over the place as well. And they shut down a street in Portland. And there was a driver who wasn't going to put up with it. He was going to drive around them. And so they attacked him. Here's what happened. He's trying to get around him. And the guy jumped on his hood. When did that become legal? Okay, first of all, throwing up the roadblock. You're not official people. You're just doing a protest. Does part of the protest mean that you can shut down city streets? I don't think so. And then when people don't put up with it and they try to drive around your roadblock, it's not okay to jump on their hood. or to smash their windows. None of that stuff is legal as far as I know. You can damage their car. You can jump on top of it, endangering yourself and others. And if you fall off the car while he's driving away, oh well, shouldn't have done that, you freaking moron. Instead, everybody's pissed off at this driver and they want him arrested. God, jeez. How about this? Stay out of traffic, stupid. This is why these bills are necessary, like the one they just did in Missouri, the one that they did, I think, in Oklahoma, where they made it legal to drive through these people. Sorry, you can go ahead and save your life by driving through the mob. You don't have to stop for them and let them attack your vehicle and pull you out of the car and beat you to death. You don't have to do that. I think that's a pretty good safety tip. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't do it. If I'm pulling up to the mob and they're surrounding my car like that, I'm not going to just let them do whatever they want to my car and to me.
Yep.
No, thank you.
I don't care what the law says.
I'm going to go through.
I'm going to protect my life.
And yep. I'm going to start slowly. Give you a chance to get out of the way. But you better get out of the freaking way, because I'm going to keep going. You stop and you might be dead. You just really might be dead. You don't know.
So
you don't know what they're going to do.
Do you brandish the firearm before it escalates, or after they're on the hood, or when do you get to that point?
Yeah, that's
because that'll clear a room, right?
You would think so. You would think
then
so.
You don't have to worry about the dents and the deductible and all that stuff.
I don't think I sent this in, but there was a little standoff at a restaurant in, where was this? Was it Baltimore? Where the guy pulled out, BLM showed up at one of those outdoor, patio dining areas, and they started hassling all the people at the restaurant like they always do. So this guy wasn't going to take it.
Okay.
And he stood up and he pulled a pistol out of his pocket and pointed it at them. Well, they stopped because they were going to hassle him even further, but he stopped them in their tracks, and then they just started yelling at him. And they said, "You're not the only one who's armed." And sure enough, apparently they had security there with them, and they had AR-15s with them. So they show up, and they have a little discussion with the guy with the pistol. And one of the employees of the restaurant, I mean, these people are heroes, and one of the people who was a protester talked both sides down, and it ended without anybody getting shot, which is great. But I'm not sure what you do in that case.
Yeah, that's risky.
It is risky.
That's not a situation where you're trying to flee, right? You're trying to get out of there with your car, and you have the means to do so.
True.
But at the same time, if you're backed in a corner, I don't know this video. I don't know how threatened he felt, but
I think it's just, there's a difference between being threatened and the harassment that they're doing. The harassment, I don't think they've hurt anybody. Have they at any of these restaurants? I don't think so. Not that I know of.
And that's what they want. They want you to pull your weapon.
They do want you to.
They want you to be on CNN for a 3-day news cycle. A crazy right winger blows a hole through an unarmed protester.
Right. That is what they want. They don't want to be the one you blow the hole through.
Right.
But they want you to do it to somebody.
But I think if they're actively attacking your vehicle in the flow of in the road, that's a different story. They're crawling all over your car, reaching inside your window, throwing stuff at you.
It's bad. I don't know how they get away with it all the time, and nobody ever seems to be arrested for this. I don't know why.
Sounds like a healthy republic we're living in,
doesn't it? Doesn't it though? Let me tell you about Rough Greens. I've been talking about Rough Greens for quite a while now. This is a supplement to your dog's food. It's a powder you sprinkle over your dog's food. Really easy. And with that really easy act, you're providing your dog with essential vitamins and minerals, probiotics, omega oils, that kind of thing. And most dogs, certainly mine does, they love this stuff right out of the gate. And I hear stories all the time about dogs who just can't get enough of the Rough Greens. But there are some dogs who take a little while to get used to it. So the first thing that Rough Greens wants to know is if your dog will will eat this if they'll get used to it and if they'll take to it like mine did and eat it. So you can get a free bag of Rough Greens right now for your dog to try out. All you have to pay for is the shipping of it. Just go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFF greens.com. I think you're going to love this. If your dog loves it as much as mine does, it's going to be so good for your dog because they'll get all those vitamins and minerals and all the things that help them to be really healthy and active again. Roughgreens.com or 833-ROUGH-DOG.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
The pastor in Alberta was in the news again over the weekend with some inspiring words for Canadians. This is the guy who is always telling police to get out of his church.
They hate your way of life, and they want to take it away from you. That's why they're here. They're not here for freedom. They hate freedom. They hate everything that is just and holy. That's why they're here. But we're not going to give more attention to the hyenas. We eat hyenas for breakfast.
Gross. I don't want a hyena for breakfast.
Seems like that'd be a little tough.
Yeah.
Be tough meat.
We're a pack of lions.
Oh,
wait. And lions never bow before the hyenas. We shall not be moved. We will not bow. We will push. The harder they push, the harder we will push. Until one day, we shall get back our rights. We shall be free again.
Please get out. Get out of this property. Immediately get out.
I don't care what you have to say. Out! Out!
Get out!
This property, you nutties! Out!
I eat hyenas for breakfast.
They do too. They every time we've seen one of these videos, the police do in fact leave. So he must be standing on somewhat solid legal ground.
I mean,
I guess
that's what you got to do.
Yeah,
right.
And he does.
How else are we going to get our freedoms back if you don't start standing up to this nonsense?
And again, they kept showing up on Sunday when they're about to worship, which is really uncool. And I think that's what set them off so badly. But also, we've got in the middle of all of this stuff.
Is it a compare contrast type thing we're going to do here?
Contrast and compare.
Okay.
Watch this reporter who's about to do, I don't know, some COVID report or something. And then somebody from the community shows up taking issue with whatever it is the reporter's doing.
Protestors. I have no political agenda, sir. I really don't.
What about all the
that I know does either? We're purely objective journalists.
Yeah, you are. What about
truly, sir, from the bottom of my heart?
Okay, I know.
A political dog in any.
Okay, what about all the compilation videos where they show thousands of newscasts in every city all reporting and saying the exact same thing?
Nobody tells me what to say, sir.
But there's compilation videos on YouTube and Twitter. They got millions and millions of views where every reporter in every city at every station, they say the exact same thing word for word. How do you explain that?
I don't know what you're referring to, so I can't.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't.
Okay.
I know. Okay. All right.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you so much for your time. It was
Thank
nice
you.
to chat with you.
It was great talking to you.
Have a good one.
Put your mask on. Watch out, the virus is going to get you. Oh, why do you got to wear? You didn't have your mask on the whole time, and now you're putting your mask on.
Because he's got to go to do a live
guy,
shot.
He's been standing here the whole time without his mask. Here's his camera dude with no mask on. But here he is. Now he's still trying to scare everyone. Now he's going to put his mask on while he reports. Keep spreading that fear, buddy. Keep spreading that fear. Why didn't you have your mask on before? Now he's not talking to me. Why didn't you have your mask on the last 10 minutes?
He's so defeated.
Huh?
They're asking us to wear it per guidelines for television. So
you're told what to do. Exactly. You just told me you weren't told what to do. You just told me you could do whatever you want.
I wasn't told what to say.
Oh, you're just told what to wear.
I'm trying to follow and set a good example.
Oh, okay. Set a good example.
You.
Is that what it is?
Okay. Sir, I appreciate it. Can you please let me do my job now?
I like filming phonies. What's your name again? Phony?
Kaplan.
Yeah, go somewhere else.
And they do kind of just wrap it up there at that point.
This is how we started the show today, talking about boycotts, right? And that's not what the right does. The right doesn't confront and accost people. But my gosh, we are at the breaking point. If you ever want to see freedom again, the way that pastor is saying we can get it back, it's by doing stuff like that. I'm sorry, that's where we're at now. You've got to make people uncomfortable. And
it is so phony that he's no mask on, and then during the report, I'm going to put this mask on. Like, I wear it all the time because I need to set an example for you little people. You little people who don't understand the situation, I need to show you the way. Yeah, okay. The television reporter needs to be our example. The television reporter is not my exemplar, okay? That's not who I'm going to follow. It's pretty outrageous that they believe that they are the people that we think we need to follow.
I mean, this reporter is an actor, and he's part of this large play that it's got serious consequences that's affecting your quality of life and your children's future. It seems like a minuscule thing. Let the reporter do his job. I got it. That reporter's about to take a live shot here, and he could actually, if someone sees him without a mask, someone on the other end of that tube can go, hey, maybe we're getting back to normal here, because normally I see this guy in a mask, but hey, maybe I'll start going outside without a mask. And then it just
They don't want you to think that.
No,
though.
they do not.
They don't want you to think that.
I think the sadder picture there, not only was the guy a sheep with a microphone there, but it was also the boarded up mall behind him. That was where he was doing his live shot. I mean, that's him. It sounds extreme. I got it. Dude wearing a mask, doing a report is what leads to the boarded up mall, which leads to unemployment, which leads to dependence on the government, which people are not taking jobs now because they make more money sitting at home getting a check now from the COVID relief thing, which leads to a dependency, no freedom, and the next thing you know, your children's future is very dark.
Police were called to a Nova Scotia restaurant on a report of a COVID-19 lockdown violation. Scary. So it was a scary situation. Because apparently a customer was illegally seated at a table. Can you imagine such a thing? I can't even fathom it. In Nova Scotia, they must still be shut down in the restaurants. You can't eat indoors in Nova Scotia.
Canada's a nightmare right now.
Completely gone.
Yes.
They are gone. So the alleged illegal customer that was seated at the table and police were called, turned out to be a mannequin.
Oh, look at this. See,
there's a shot of the mannequin.
What a world. Somebody walking by saw somebody else enjoying freedom to the point they had to call the police and say, there's someone in there. They don't have a mask on. They're eating at a table. Oh my gosh, go and do something about this. I cannot stand this. I cannot believe this.
And look there's 2 patrol cars outside.
Yep.
They wasted their time because a mannequin is at the table so that people wouldn't sit there. They'd go somewhere else.
Right, that's why the owner put the mannequin there.
Because they're doing the social distancing thing.
Yes.
Jeez. Mike Cormier, the owner of the Ardmore Tea Room in Halifax, said police visited his eatery after someone called to report someone was dining indoors at the facility in violation of shutdown orders. Officers got out and were looking in the window, and I saw her looking at the mannequin. He said he went out and spoke to the officer, who confirmed a caller had apparently mistaken the mannequin seated at the table for a human customer. I'm glad they ratted on the guy.
Yeah.
That's important. That's important that they ratted on this restaurant owner.
COVID.
Hey, I think there's one person eating inside a restaurant.
Yeah.
One person, you're really, even if that was a human being, you're that concerned about one person sitting alone in a restaurant eating?
And we've learned that
so pathetic.
COVID passes over you if you're sitting down, so need to back off, Karen.
I'm going to tell on you. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to have anybody in there, let alone just one person. I'm going to tell.
I'm going to tell, teacher.
I'm going to tell.
Okay, you do that. You tell. Go tell somebody about it.
COVID and masks and lockdowns, that has just created a society of Karens on steroids.
The owner says, please don't call the police on us. We're only open for takeout and delivery. No eat-in. It's a mannequin to help with social distancing. And how frustrating is that for this restaurant that's only open for takeout and delivery? They can't have people come to the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're not making the kind of money they need to be making based on just takeout and delivery. There's no way. There's no way these restaurants can be getting by on this.
Well, they have enough to purchase a mannequin, sir.
Maybe they owned the mannequin previously.
Sure.
Or somebody loaned it to them.
So you're on the side of risky behavior.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
But it's ridiculous.
I'm gonna tell. That's just.
I'm gonna tell.
Somebody's so pissed off that
I'm gonna tell. I'm calling right now.
Look at that.
I'm gonna call right now.
Oh, see, there's the restaurant's
refresher.
Why they're safe when you're sitting.
Yeah, it doesn't even need to have a mask on the mannequin.
And it is interesting because even in Texas, where the restrictions are off, almost everybody has the mask when they go in. They sit down, immediately the mask comes off, but they're sitting. So we all know the virus is shooting over their heads. The minute they stand up, though, they have to have the mask back on because they could get hit right in the face with the virus.
I don't know if this is the same story in all of the country. Definitely not the Northeast, I would imagine. But what is so great is when you walk into these places and you don't have a mask on, now people are getting to the point where, oh, I'm among friends, and they see you, sans mask, pull their mask down, and then you go about your business.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Set. Reporter guy wants to set an example with the mask. You set one without, okay?
What would that be like? See people without their mask again. What would that be like if you could actually see somebody smile or not smile?
Yeah.
You could know their expression. You could know whether they're pissed or they're happy or whatever. Wouldn't that be something? Things we used to take for granted. Now you can't tell at all anymore.
Hey, Martin, can you just be safe. Leave your mask on. Just to ride out the storm, okay? Would you do that for us?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think you like that. Sorry. You're not in here often. I have to pick on you when I can, other places than Twitter.
All right. Tomorrow, because we didn't get to it again today, we got to talk about this juror.
Oh.
Who, of course, was vowing impartiality in the George Floyd case. But he had been to a BLM rally wearing a BLM shirt that, by the way, said, I think it said, I can't breathe.
I forget.
On
something
it,
like that.
right? It was definitely related to George Floyd, but he says the rally wasn't about George Floyd. Yeah. Oh, get your knee off my neck. Nothing to do with George Floyd, though. Mm-hmm. They're a little worried that this could affect the trial outcome.
Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.